Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to be able to speak to you today.
Hi.
Thanks for taking the time. For people who don't know anything about Fly Me to the Moon, maybe you can kick us off with a bit of an intro. Set the scene for us. What can they expect when they watch the film?
Take another space race. In NASA's, sort of the opinion of NASA is a little bit low because there's Vietnam. There's a lot of things that are pulling attention away, and America is like, why are we spending so much money?
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's character is hired as a PR to
and Anna Garcia's
Yeah,
character.
Anna Garcia. I was just getting. Okay, you take it.
And so Scarlett Johansson and Anna Garcia's characters are hired to go to NASA to market the moon landing, which I think is such a genius idea. Basically, it's their job to get funding so that there's enough money to send these astronauts and land on the moon. And then within that,
a fake one is for security reasons is created in case it doesn't work.
and then within that all, a rom-com.
Yeah. Wow.
No, you smashed it. I watched it this morning and it absolutely blew me away. I just love kind of how it blends seamlessly, like humor and heart, all these moments of witty repartee and then really sort of like these genuinely romantic, emotional moments, plus, the drama, you're really on the edge of your seat, wondering what on earth's going to happen. When you read the script, what really jumped out to you? Why did you want to jump on board?
Kind of for all the reasons you're talking about, because you don't see movies like this anymore, or it doesn't feel, and if they're too rare, they should be more frequent. And I think it's because of all the things you just described. I just think that we're something about space and the idea of like a group of people like trying over and over again to perfect it. And also the danger of it is something that just grabs a hold of us, which is where the emotion I think comes from. So all of those reasons, and plus the outfits. As soon as I saw the outfits, I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, sign me up.
Yeah.
I think that also we've seen a lot of, there's been plenty of space movies, but this is such a good take on space. It's like an angle that I'd never thought of like, of course they had to get money. This is based on like, there was a person that did this job to market the moon landing and get these brands involved. So it's just such a great way of telling the story.
And, coming to your specific characters, for you, Anna, I guess you're kind of, you become like this amazing pair, you and Scarlett's character, you're bouncing off each other, but you're also really putting to the fore that you're this women acting in a very masculine environment. And you're sort of able to hold your own with that while also holding on to your femininity. So how did you work with Scarlett to kind of create that dynamic? And what did you enjoy about playing your character?
Yeah, there are not many women working at NASA at the time. They're not, and that's represented in the movie. So Scarlett and I think it not only really bonded us, but to have that sort of like, I don't know, dynamic of like, we lean on each other, we're here for each other, both in the movie and in person. It created this really wonderful relationship. And I think it shows. And like, there are times where we got to do improv and we're laughing and you do get to see it in the movie. And I think that having that female relationship brings a lot of joy and dynamic, I think brought a lot to the movie, specifically because it's such a male space.
And for you, Jim, playing Lance, I thought it was quite maybe a bit of Devil Wears Prada, being a lot of sass.
100%.
And also got a lot of witty exchanges with Scarlett. Did you love playing this character? What was your favorite moment about it?
Oh, I loved it. And you're spot on with those things because the first thing I shot was the Lance's introduction coming into the office. And there was a moment that I was channeling from the movie Tootsie, of all movies, Dustin Hoffman's cadence. And when he was upset because he wanted to play a tomato and they didn't want him to walk or something like that. And I think Greg came up to me and goes, "You sounded like Dustin Hoffman." I go, "I know, but sometimes you just steal from the best." So that was one of my favorite moments because I was like, yeah, I'm going to channel that. I'm going to channel Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
Steal from the best.
And in terms of what people can take away from the film, I guess sort of a lot of the things we've mentioned, it is this kind of classic rom-com, and it feels like one of those films from a long time ago that you could rewatch a lot of times. And there is just this incredible chemistry as well between Channing and Scarlett. I don't know if I would have put them together necessarily on paper, but sparks fly left, right, and center. So you kind of get sucked into the story, but it's also something really heartwarming about their romance too.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think that the cast had such a good dynamic and we were all friends in real life, and like Scarlett and Channing are buddies and everyone would sort of joke with each other. And so I think that comes across.
and being immersed in that different era. I mean, everything is just so impeccably put together. Every time you walked on set, were you just kind of like, wow?
Yeah, I in particular, because most of my stuff was on the fake moon landing, but then when I ventured off, when I had finished and I went over to watch, they were shooting in whatever they call it, control center.
Mission control, yeah.
Mission control, sure.
That's a NASA term that you should know.
Well, no, control center, I think, is the one you were thinking of. I think yours is wrong. But when I walked in there, it floored me that this thing had been built.
And it's like a near replica.
Of it.
Incredible. And they built it so it shakes. So like when we have to act that the rocket's taking off, literally the entire set is like rumbling. I was like, you guys didn't have to do that, but it helped so much.
Yeah.
And do you think this is going to spark lots of conspiracy theorists, or what was your sort of like interpretation?
I just hope it sparks.
Fear of this fake moon being built.
Yeah.
What do you hope it sparks, Jim?
Who knows? I mean, we live in a world where everyone has an opinion about everything, but I hope it sparks everyone to go to the theaters and then share in the enjoyment of watching together, whether you're a conspiracy theorist or a non-conspiracy theorist, if that's a term.
I also don't think the movie tells a conspiracy. Like, the movie tells the story of the moon landing, and it has such a fun twist, but it's like,
yeah,
if you're watching it, you're knowing that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Honestly, I really, really love the film, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it. So thanks so much.
Great. Thank you so much.